Hello and welcome to On the Bench, the fortnightly podcast for scale modelers by scale modelers. Available on iTunes, Stitcher, and all good podcast apps. While you're there, don't forget to mark us as your favourite so that you never miss a show. In this episode, we're going to be chatting about my trip around the world and some of the museums that I went to, some of the purchases that I made. As well as that, we're also going to be having a look at what's new in the modelling world and having a bit of a closer look at one 1/44th scale aircraft, something which has really caught my interest recently. But before we get into that, we're excited to announce that Fine Scale Modeler is now our official supporter. Fine Scale Modeler is one of the world's most recognised modelling magazines and is currently celebrating 35 years. Fine Scale Modeler magazine can be found in all good newsagents or wherever you purchase your magazines. Alternatively, you can go directly to their website, www.finescale.com, and subscribe to get it home delivered and also access to the digital edition. And while you're there at their website, don't forget to check out their product info, galleries, how-to section, and videos. Also, they have a very active community forum. And of course, Fine Scale Modeler has an active Facebook page, which can be found at www.facebook.com/Fine Scale Modeler. Thank you to our new Patreon supporters, Neil Wood, Chris Dowsett, and Jim Chiram. If you would like to help support this podcast, you can do so by going to www.patreon.com/onthebench and pledge any amount from $1 upwards. Your contribution will help cover our operating costs and are greatly appreciated. And again, thanks to all the others who are continuing to support our podcast. So without further ado, let's get on with the show. And hello and welcome to On the Bench, and in the studio I've got Ian. G'day Ian.
G'day Dave, g'day listeners.
And Julian.
Hello.
Short and sharp as usual, Julian.
That's right.
Well, it seems like ages since we've been in the studio.
It has been.
I've been whirling my way around the world.
Yes, you have.
Had an awesome time. Been to lots and lots of different places. Paris, Toronto, New York, and Hawaii. And seen lots of museums. So we'll have a bit of chat about that in a minute. But first of all, I'm keen to hear what you guys have been up to while I've been away. How about we start with you, Julian? What have you been up to?
Well, I have solved my illness issues. I had my gallbladder removed, so I've just sort of started getting back into modelling as of like last night.
Oh, cool.
Well, I mean, I was doing a little bit before that. I had the JU88 that I was sort of, I did a bit of scribing on it, and then I decided, you know what, I really hate this thing, so I'm gonna give it to someone who cares. So I did. Chris Dowsett, who we've had on the podcast, he is looking for a few bits and pieces that are missing off of his Mistel build.
Yep.
Yeah, that he built a long time ago. It's missing some like a prop and some landing gear doors or something like that. And I said, well, you can have those off this kit because they're actually really nice on that kit.
So what was the kit? What was the manufacturer?
This is the ICM.
Yep.
New Tool JU88.
Right.
A4, isn't it?
Yeah, A5.
Yep.
I remember because like the A5 is like one of sort of like a weird one that's like most people would do an A4.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is so this was an A5, and it's got like some good aspects to it, like those landing gear doors that are, you know, unlike most gear doors where you know how you've got like the sort of what you call like pressing, you know, from where it's the rigidity for it, you know, it's like normally that's where you have like ejector pin marks on the inside of it. Yeah, has none.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't even have any of those little you know, those little round nub things that are around it to help
with the flow of the plastic.
It doesn't have any of those.
Oh, wow.
Really thin what do you call it, the sprue gate type things.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I don't know how they got it to work, but they seem to, and it's fantastic. But
good,
on the other hand,
pressure.
on the other hand, it has like stress marks that run along the entire seam line where near the edges where the fuselage halves go together.
Mm-hmm.
Makes it kind of difficult to troubleshoot where that seam line is. They must have had trouble getting it out of the molds. It's basically what's happened.
Mm-hmm.
Also, because it's got like almost a very squarish fuselage profile, the detail along the top of the fuselage
very flat.
And I had to scribe it all in, and I had a lot of trouble doing that. Like every time I tried to scribe it, the plastic would basically just all like, even when I added glue and stuff, it would all just sort of refill the trenches that I'd scribed in it. No matter how deep I did it, it was just there were other aspects that were lacking detail, and I just got sick and tired of it.
Yep.
You had some assembly issues too with the engine nacelles, did you not?
Yes. So it's got like it's designed. The nacelles are designed to. It's got like 4 big lugs that go into holes in the wing, and you push it up into the wing. But at the same time, they ask you to have on top of the nacelle where the top of the engine cowl is, has to clip over a ledge on the wing. So it sort of has to attach from below and above, being one part kind of a thing.
Right.
It's not very smart engineering.
So test fitting, you didn't do much test fitting before?
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah. It's just not great engineering. In a plane this big with this big a wingspan, I would expect to have at least, like if it was a Tamiya kit, smaller Tamiya kits than this have that well engineered spar to maintain the proper dihedral.
Yep.
And this kit doesn't have it, and it could really use it.
Wow.
So you get a bit of wing sag.
Yeah. It's just, little details that should be there. Like I would expect to be there in a kit of this size, like the landing light. It's just not there. You just get a hole in the wing, and you get a little clear part to go over it, and it's up to you. It's
you got to build a box in behind it.
Yeah, you got to build a box and thin it down, and it's like, oh, come on. You know what? I've had enough. I've got too many juicy things waiting to go. So I ditched that. I gave it to Chris, and he can scavenge his little bits and parts off it and then throw the rest in the bin. I don't care what he does. And last night I got hooked into my Academy P38F, right, which I'll be doing as a H.
Right.
I don't know enough about P38s to know what the differences are, but I'll do my homework.
It'll be
when I want to get into it when I get home.
You're probably finding it might have to scribe a couple of panel lines and maybe get rid of a few panel lines.
Yeah, I don't care enough to do that. Really. I mean, as long as there aren't any too major.
As long as it looks like a P38 Lightning, that's the main thing.
Yeah. Yeah, so I've got a lot of aftermarket for it.
I noticed.
Yes. Lots of Eduard Brasson sets for it, and I got
to ask, how much?
I don't look at the prices. Come on.
Not a rough idea how much you've thrown at this thing yet?
I could probably go back to my receipts and find it, but I don't want to know. So I started hooking into the cockpit, which is an Eduard Brasson set, and it is red carpet treatment the whole way.
Wow.
This thing goes together like the cockpit from a Tamiya kit.
Yep.
It's just so well engineered. You got tabs and things, locating pins and things for everything to properly go together. There's no guesswork. Like I've put together some resin cockpits now, and Aries are not the best. They sort of go, yeah, place this seat here. No real indication where. Just use your intuition. None of that. It's very well guided, and these little locating tabs and things like that, they're all quite thick and robust, and it just goes together so well.
Wow.
And so like I got quite a ways like through the major construction portions of it. I'm pretty close to maybe painting it. And then I was sort of looking into the engineering of how they're going to do the combing, over the it actually doesn't have any in a P38F. So what happened is they added in later like a canvas cover over the top of the instrument panel so that you could see it without too much glare or something.
Oh, okay.
Right? Yep. But it wasn't there initially. Not on the F or the H.
Right.
So what happens is the actual kit got it wrong.
Yep.
And you've actually got to remove that.
Yes, that's right.
From the kit. So
Yeah.
that's I found that really interesting because I was sort of going, how does this? Because like that in the instructions for this set, it shows like the bulletproof glass in the windscreen, right?
Yep.
That goes in, and while the kit does do that, and it actually sticks out
Yes.
into past the actual front portion of the canopy.
Yep.
I did not know that. It's got a nice. It even has molded in the nice little cushion there so that you don't crack your head open if you bump into it, because otherwise it's a nice sort of 45-degree jutting piece of 1-inch thick glass or something ready to cut a nice big slot in your forehead. And so what the kit actually has is like it gives you clear resin replacement for it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Clear resin.
Clear resin.
Huh.
And
it's nice clear resin too.
Wow.
yeah, I did have a very good look at it. So if you have like say if you put it up, some printed text behind it, it comes up clear. But as you move it away, like if you get to maybe 2 centimeters away from the text, it blurs the text out. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's still fine enough for scale modeling, because you're never gonna, look through it really.
Well, rivet counters might.
Maybe. But it actually gives you. No, this is a problem. So I'm going to have to talk to you about what glues you use on canopies and stuff, because I know you use some kind of
white glue.
Yeah. No. Because
Gator grip.
Gator grip or whatever.
That's white glue.
Is it?
Yeah.
I hate
PVC.
I hate white glue.
Oh, it works
No,
well.
it's beautiful.
No, because what happens is
you put it on there, and any bits that flow out when you clamp it down, you just get a little wet cotton bud or Q-tip and just
but see this bulletproof glass plate does not run. It doesn't stick up against the actual windscreen.
It sits in front of it.
It sits
behind it. Sorry.
Yeah, behind it. But the gun sight sits between the armored glass
because you got that
and
little
the windscreen.
bracket.
Yeah, that little bracket is actual photo etch, and I'm going to have to stick that to this piece of resin and to the kit plastic canopy.
Easy.
Gator glue. Gator glue.
Yeah, Gator glue will do that because it's only Gator grip.
That's it. Gator grip.
Gator grip is a great. It's very strong glue. Clear, dries crystal clear.
Yeah, so I need some of that stuff because
and just use a paintbrush to apply it. A really fine paintbrush.
Yep.
And just paint it on.
Cool.
Do you want us to build it for you as well?
No, I'm having way too much fun building this thing. Let me tell you.
I've got the same kit.
How have you?
But the Edward boxing, which has got all what Julian bought for it in the box.
Ah, that's why you're asking how much it cost.
Yeah. Also, I didn't pay for mine.
You got it for free.
Yeah, used up my B&A points.
Oh, smart boy.
Yeah.
Yep. Brilliant.
Bought a few kits using just me B&A points.
Jeez, I've still got a heap of points I haven't even used yet.
Use them up, mate.
Yeah, I know.
So he's talking about B&A Model World, which is a great
online
store that is very, very local to us.
No, it's worldwide. They just ship
they
around
do.
the world.
They do ship worldwide, but we're lucky enough to live in the same city as them.
Yep.
So it's really easy just to jump on there, buy something, and have it
Next
land
day
on our
delivery.
doorstep the next day.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's so convenient.
And the more you buy, the more points you get. So you get freebies later on. You can use the points to.
But I always have a problem with B&A. I'll go spend my money because once you hit the 150, it's free shipping.
Yeah.
So I just get close to about $70-$80 and I go, I don't want to pay shipping, so I'll just buy more and more and more, and then bang. I think the last one was $170. Got it shipped. I did my order. Next day, something I'd had on stock notification came in.
Oh, no.
So then I had to make another B&A purchase. So I had 2 B&A purchases come in consecutive days.
So you do know the shipping's probably only about $10. So
yeah.
So rather than you got $80 worth of stuff you want to buy, and then for another $10 you got shipping. But I know Ian goes and buys $150 worth of stuff, so you get the free shipping.
I bought stuff that's going to come in handy, like yard arms, brass turned yard arms for ships, and triangular perforated gussets for ships, and just all sorts of weird stuff that I know will come in handy with future builds.
Have you ever bought rivets?
No.
No, I haven't bought rivets yet.
I've got a rivet tool.
Oh yeah, I've got one of those. Actually, I'm thinking of using it on this build. Actually,
yeah, it doesn't. There's no rivets or anything.
It's got really nice crisp panel lines. I mean, those of you who've built this Academy kit, no, it's a little bit rough. One of my nacelles was a little bit warped near the front because it basically they've designed it in such a way so that the intakes on the underneath each of the nacelles can be changed out as a separate part so that you can either do an F or a J
right
out of the same kit. And so as a result of that, you end up with a very almost 3 centimeter wide piece of plastic that connects the front part where the engine is and the area behind it. And it warped on one of mine, which is pretty understandable given how thin that plastic is.
Yeah.
So I had to do some funny things where I sort of I had to glue the rear end all at once, let that dry for a while, then force the front ends that are warped together, put some super glue behind it and hold it together whilst someone else helps me out with a bit of super glue.
Was it flared out or flared in?
Flared out.
Oh, that's the worst thing. It's flared in. You just get a bit of sprue and to the right size and jam it in there and spreads it.
Well, it's one of those things where I could have solved it with the old hot water type trick, but it never occurs to me when I'm presented with the problem.
And how much nose weight are you going to put in there?
Apparently 20 grams is enough.
Oh, yeah.
20 grams.
Yeah.
There's quite a lot of space in there because it's not like the old Monogram kit where you got gun bay that you can show off in that nose. Yeah. So there's plenty of space.
Yep.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. One modification that I really want to do on this kit is have the nose wheel turned because it's got a steering kind of nose gear, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's quite long and it rotates on an angle.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's not like on jets where the nose landing gear comes straight down, right? It points out a little bit.
Yep.
And so it's almost like a bicycle,
Yes.
Yeah, I want to get that look because it's just so good. You see it in so many of the photos, and then everyone who builds the model has it dead straight. It's
So you want the wheel actually turning to the left or the right?
Yeah.
Well, make sure that you do the yoke the same way in the cockpit then, which way the wheels turn.
Oh, good point. Yeah, very good point. Yeah.
That's
a good point. I would have forgotten about that.
If I was a judge and I was looking at that, I'd mark you down that you didn't do it.
Well, yeah. I mean, since I'm putting such a nice, because I tend to get a little bit lazy with doing my aircraft kits with the cockpit closed, just so that I can just mask it all up and not have to deal with masking an open cockpit, right? But if I'm going to this level of trouble with the cockpit, I'm going to have it open.
Yep.
You have to. You
gotta show off that lovely cockpit.
Mm.
Ian, what have you been up to?
Shikaku as usual.
Still doing the Shikaku.
I'm just throwing. It's a boat, really. Mm. It's like owning a proper boat. I'll just keep throwing money at it.
Break open another 1,000.
Oh yes, something like that. Yeah, I've spent well over 800 Australian dollars on this thing so far, and the price is still rising. Yeah. But I managed. I got an Infini Models photo etch and turn brass set for the 25mm triple mount AA guns.
Yeah.
There's 10 on the Shikaku. I built 11. 16 pieces per unit.
No.
That's 176 tiny photo etch and brass bits to wrangle. It took a long while to do.
I feel your pain. I really do.
There was a few times I actually had to walk away from the bench. It was just getting too much.
Yep.
But no, I'm glad I got that part out of the way. Because I'm waiting on a major part to come in, a photo etch sheet to come in, which has got all the gussets and all the structural compartments for underneath the flight deck, and it's very overdue, and I'm getting a bit.
That's holding you up. You can't sort of go any further until you get that.
Yeah, so I'm doing all the fiddly stuff. Last weekend I did the aerials, all the aerials and the masts for the side of the flight deck in the folded down position. That's a lot of photo etch as well.
Do you reckon you'll paint these pieces before you?
Yeah.
You can probably paint them before this stuff comes. They're waiting for comes in, right?
I got a bit overzealous because I shouldn't have glued the masts to the actual bases yet. because once I put them on there, they're so fragile and small, and they stick out so far from the side of the carrier deck. It's just waiting for me to just ting and snap them off.
Yep.
Ordered another set of HE Vels, D3A1s, I think. That gives me a total of 27, which is correct because I've been doing some research on the Shikaku because I'm building it as the first wave attack on Pearl Harbor, which had 6 zeros and 27 Vels. I know I should have done my research earlier, but I didn't. So I've accidentally bought an extra box of Nakajima Kates, which were only used on the second, so they won't even be on the flight deck. So I've got a box of Kates there sitting there I'll never use. What else? You got some nice sort of dynamic propellers. So you're going
to have it as if she's actually just about to launch.
I'm going to have the first zero taking off.
Yep, okay.
So I've been buying a heap of figures. So
Yep.
I probably have close to about 300 figures to put on this thing.
Where have you been getting the figures from?
eBay and B&A.
North Star, did
North
you say?
Star, and Fujimi figures.
Yep.
Because they're all three-dimensional, not like the flats.
No, I hate the flat stuff.
And so forth. They just don't look realistic. Because I'm going to have a whole heap of like guys standing around the actual tower.
Painting is going to be a pain in the...
not really. Most of them are white, so you just paint them white and then just get a bit of skin colour and put it on the faces and hands.
Yeah.
Bit of black for the brown for the shoes, and you laugh. And the odd very dark black brown, black blue for the officers, and a couple of browns.
Yeah.
For the mechanics and so forth.
You have to have pilots in the aircraft too now.
Yeah, I've been thinking about how to do that.
Yeah.
Because the aircraft are all in clear styrene. And the canopies have got like a bottom plug underneath them.
Right.
So I was thinking what I might do with the plug is just get a small drill bit
and
just drill into the plug roughly about where head height is, and then just put a dab of paint in there.
Represent the pilot.
And that'll represent the pilot. So when you're looking into the canopy, you can actually see that there's someone there.
That's a good idea. Let's see how that comes out.
Yeah. Be another thing to drive me crazy. But I've still got, I think about June, I think I've got to get it finished by.
Yeah, you got a bit of time.
Yeah.
You got a bit of time.
But I've got the summer months where modelling slows right down because it just gets way too hot.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
So, that's it. That's what I've been working on.
Well, I've been working on nothing. I've been busy sort of jet-setting around the world.
Yeah, going to great museums.
Oh, fantastic museums. First museum I went to was the French Army Museum in Paris, which is absolutely blew my mind. If you love armour, Napoleonics and all that sort of stuff, it's just... and uniforms, they do that so well over there. And hardly anybody was there. So I just go wandering through the whole place.
Yep.
And it's a huge place, so you really need to take some time. I took that many pictures of armour and swords and
like
cannons
medieval armour.
Yeah, all that sort of stuff. Oh my God, some of the armour they had there on display.
Yeah. Very ornate, isn't it?
Very ornate. And I have to say, there's probably more detailed collections elsewhere in Europe, but by far it's the most detailed collection I've ever seen.
Yep.
It was, the place was so big, I didn't even get time to get to the Napoleonics, which is...
a real shame.
Well, I thought I'd get back there, and I sort of ran out of time, so going to see the rest of Paris. But fantastic museums. I highly recommend it if you're ever in Paris to go there and put aside 4 hours, maybe 5 hours, and just go wandering through there.
Yep.
Because most of the crowds go off to see the Eiffel Tower and the Champs-Élysées and all that sort of stuff. Not too many people go there.
Yep.
Wandered over to the tomb for Napoleon, which was magnificent. I shouldn't be surprised, but I was surprised how sort of revered he is over in France.
Considering he was Corsican.
Well, there's that as well, but he's seen as one of their great leaders, and the tomb they've done for him was it just blew my mind. It was just one of the sort of architecturally looking at it, and inside around the tomb, they've got some other sort of little wings that go off. For other generals that they sort of reveal.
I heard a rumour, I don't know how true it is, but I've heard, or actually I should say I've read that it was actually inspired by the tomb of Alexander.
Could possibly be, I don't know.
Because apparently, from what I've read, that he was quite enamoured when he saw the tomb of Alexander.
Oh, really? Well, I don't think Napoleon. This was built well after his death. So
Yep.
yeah, don't know. I couldn't really.
Is he
tell you.
actually in there?
I don't know.
That's the question.
It is the
Because he
question.
died on, was it the island of Elba or something?
Yeah, poisoned.
Yes.
From there, we went to Toronto, and I'm kicking myself because one of our listeners wrote in and said, if you're going past Hamilton, which I was, pop in and have a look at the Lancaster, which is only one of the 2 flying Lancasters in the world. And of course, I saw the email too late and I'd already been and gone. So
Oh, no.
another excuse to go back to Canada.
Yep.
Didn't go and look at any model shops anywhere on my travels. And
Shame on you.
No.
David. Shame.
This is the logic because you can get the same models wherever you go in the world via the internet. So where's the excitement to go actually and have a look at one? And if you see something there that tickles my fancy, how am I going to get it home?
Post it back.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
And it has to be a kit because if you buy any paint or thinners or anything chemical orientated,
Good
that's
luck getting it back.
Well, that's true.
unless you slap lotion as a label on it, then maybe you'll get it through.
Lotion.
Yeah, but I still had 2 other countries to go, and so the hassle of dragging a plastic kit around the world with me.
Yes.
I just picture Dave goes into a shop and buys himself one of the 48 scale U-boats. And then has to drag that massive box. It'll be as tall as you are anyway, Dave.
Yeah, I'm not that short.
The only way I would buy a kit overseas
Yep.
is if I went to, say, the Tamiya shop in Japan.
Oh, they have to be
and
the
they
Holy
have
Grail.
one of those,
Yep.
one of a kind things you can't get anywhere else because it's not sold anymore, kind of a thing.
I agree. That'd be the holy grail of model shop to go to. The Tamiya shop
It'd be
in Japan.
It'd be cool, wouldn't it?
It'd be very cool.
Yes.
Where else did I go to?
Well, that was Canada.
Excuse me, it was Canada. Then on to New York and went and had a look at the USS Intrepid, which is the museum there. Unfortunately, the Space Shuttle part exhibit was closed while I was there, so I was gutted about that.
Oh, they closed
Yeah.
it. What was their reason?
Oh, they're doing some sort of maintenance or something. It was closed that particular week, which is a bit particularly annoying. Great little museum to go to. Yeah, really enjoyed it. So I understand why they do it. So the hangar deck is all full of have a couple of aircraft in the hangar deck as well as on top, but you sort of lose a sense that it's a hangar deck as such because they've got so much other sort of exhibits and everything crammed in there.
Right, yep.
So you have to sort of go to the bow and look back towards the stern to really get the impression of how big it is and just imagine it full of aircraft to sort of really get a good idea.
Yes.
And, obviously you can walk up to the bridge and all that sort of stuff and have a look around. So, yeah, by and large, it was quite a good little
And
tour.
you saw an SR-71?
I did my first time ever seen one up live, and gee, it was a lot smaller than I expected, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I thought it'd be whopping great big thing, but it wasn't as sort of big as I expected it to be.
Yeah.
So that was that museum. Then we went to Hawaii, which of course went to see the Mighty Mo, Missouri. Went to the Bofin, which is the Gator class submarine. Beautiful condition that's in. Absolutely gorgeous. And the biggest surprise for me was the actual Pacific Aviation Museum, which is also there on Ford Island. Now, I went there. This is sort of the last part of the tour. So if you you go to the Gato, to the USS Bofin first of all. Then you jump on a bus and it takes you out to the Missouri, and then you can either you jump on the bus again. Actually, funny story. So I hired a car from Waikiki.
Yep.
And we drove out there, and the GPS took me in the wrong entrance for Pearl Harbor. So I'm in this big line, and of course I thought, this doesn't look like the right entrance. So a security guard comes out and his 2 mates are there with sort of shotguns and all that sort of stuff. And I said, I think I've come in the wrong entrance. And he goes, yes, you have.
Tourist.
I said, sorry, the GPS took me this way. He goes, yeah, I get it all the time. So, but the thing is, while I'm explaining all this, all the other guys who are coming onto the island for their work, it's like 8 o'clock in the morning, they're all banked up behind me. So, so anyway, so that was all good. What am I talking about now? The Pacific Aviation Museum, Pearl Harbor. One of the best museums I've ever been to. it would rank in my listing of air museums as high as Tillamook, which I think is in Oregon, which I've been to. The thing I loved about this particular museum, well, first of all, there's Hangar 37, which is the main entrance.
Yep.
So you go in there, and it's all under this artificial light. There's a B-25 in there. There's a Zero in there. There's a Dauntless in there and a couple of other aircraft. And you walk around, you're taking photos, but it's all under this sort of artificial light. I'm thinking, gee, I'm not really too impressed with this. And I said to the wife, I said, oh, come on, because at the end of the tour, I'm sort of, pretty exhausted. So I said, let's just catch a bus and go home. So I came out of the main entrance, and then there's a sign saying, this way to Hangar 79. And went, oh, didn't know about that, because I didn't read the pamphlet as I walked in. So you come out of Hangar 37, you go around to your left, and it takes you to Hangar 79. Oh, my God, the aircraft in there. Oh. And this is how history's supposed to be shown. It's not tied off behind, purple velvet ropes. You can actually go up and touch the aircraft. You can go and stick your head in the wheel well. You can go right across them. That's the way history's supposed to be displayed. Not something looked at behind a rope that you can't touch and feel and get in tune with. They had F-111s there. They had the...
And what country was the F-111 from?
Oh, from Australia.
Yes.
Well, it was originally from the US, of course, but the RAAF donated it to the museum. They had an F4. They had a Thunder Chief there. They had F-14, F-15, F-16. The nose from a B-52. Had a Sabre, a MiG-15, a MiG-21. All this stuff you could just go up and touch and just put your hand on the side of it. And you could feel the history just oozing out of it. It was just absolutely gorgeous. I was in modeller's heaven. I really was. It's one of the best places I've ever been.
They've got a B-17 as well.
They do. They the Swamp Ghost.
Yep, which came from New Guinea.
It did indeed, and that is just I hope they don't restore. I hope they leave it exactly like it is, because it was just gorgeous looking at it like that. The way it sort of crash landed in the swamp, and they go and picked it up from New Guinea and just dumped it over there into the museum. Absolutely brilliant. And
you also had one of my favourite pre-war aircraft there as well.
Oh yeah, hanging from the ceiling at the
Boeing F4B.
That's right. Yes.
I love those planes.
So it looks like they're actually restoring that. So hopefully they'll restore it to display condition.
Yep.
So it'll be lovely.
Definitely.
The only complaint I've got about this particular, the whole Pearl Harbor thing is every other museum I went to in the US, you went through a metal detector and they checked your bags and everything, and you could take your bags on with you. When you go to Pearl Harbor, cautionary note, you're not allowed to take bags into any of it at all.
Mm-hmm.
You don't find out this fact until after you've parked your car and walked all the way around to the front entrance. So you have a choice. Either walk all the way back to where your car's parked, or if you've been dropped off by a tour bus, you're in a heck of a lot of trouble. So what they've got an area where they charge you $5 to store all your bags.
Yep.
You're not even allowed to take camera bags on with you.
Mm-hmm.
They allow you to take your camera, but no handbags, no other sort of backpacks or fanny packs or whatever. So you're going to store your bags. It costs you $5 per bag, which you're forced to pay. You ain't got a choice.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I didn't think I should have grabbed the extra battery for my camera. Oh, so walking around when I got finally that hangar with all the aircraft, my damn
battery carked it.
Yeah, so I had to use my iPhone, which got some great photos on my iPhone.
Good.
But it's lucky I had the backup.
Yep.
So that's my only complaint. But apart from that, gorgeous museum.
Good.
Best part of Hawaii almost. Apart from all the drinks and everything there.
And the beaches.
Oh, and the beaches, of course, all that sort of stuff. So it was a wonderful holiday. Bought some books while I was away. I do buy books when I go overseas because you don't see some of these books in Australia. So one book was called it's called The Black Book, and What If Germany Had Won World War II? A Chilling Glimpse into Nazi Plans for Great Britain by M.J. Tro, which I look forward to listening to that one.
Listening or reading?
Oh, reading, I should say. Excuse me while I take a drink of water.
And you got a few other books by the looks of it?
Yep. Another book I got was If the Allies Had Fallen, 6 Alternative Scenarios to World War II. I love that alternative history stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. Another one, Osprey Books, the F-111 and EF-111 Units in Combat by Peter E. Davies. And the last book I got there, The Imperial Japanese Navy in the Pacific War by Mark E. Still.
And I had a bit of a look through that, and that's a stunning book.
Yeah. And you don't sort of see those books anywhere out here, so unless you sort of specifically know what you're looking for.
Well, no, I'll be doing it when I get home.
Ordering the same book.
It's a very nice book.
It's a very nice book.
Yep. So all in all, a great trip. Lots of museums, lots of photos. Thoroughly enjoyed my time.
Lots of good memories.
Yeah, lots of good memories. And yeah, here I am back.
Fantastic. Hook back into your modelling.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, I think we'll move forward to what's new in the modelling world, shall we?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right,
Why
we'll
not?
take a very quick break and back shortly. Okay, and we're back to talk about what's new in the modelling world. First off, let's have a look at Border Models, which I've never heard of these guys before. Have any of you guys heard of them?
Nope.
There you go.
Nope. Not at all.
They're doing in 1/35th scale Panzerkampfwagen 4, the OS FG model, mid to late. And from some of the shots we're having a look at, it looks like it's going to build a
Comes with buckets.
fantastic kit. Where are you seeing the buckets?
Yeah, up on the.
Oh, yeah.
Next to the barrel.
Jerry cans.
Looks like brass etched Schusen.
Yes. There's additional armour in 2 types are included. There's a track holder for additional armour in the form of the tracks that can be used to add the additional armour, which was done sometimes in the front glasses. There's no engine or interior included, but the outside of this looks absolutely gorgeous.
Stunning.
It does. And you got 2 types of barrels included, the L43 and the L48-7. Both barrels are included. And I don't know whether the barrels are actually metal or not, so it's a bit hard to sort of tell at this point. I'm wondering if this is actual pictures of the kit or
No,
whether they're,
I believe it's CAD.
it's CAD drawings we're looking at.
Looks stunning.
So for those of you who like the Panzer IV OS F mid to late model, you are going to absolutely love this one. And again, from Border Tools, never heard of them. If you go to Border Models Facebook page, you can see more information about that particular kit. Next up, we have from
Masterbox.
They've done some German military men present day from the Bundeswehr. We get how many figures there? 1, 2, 3, 5 figures. And they're in 1/35th scale, so they'd look nice in a diorama. Looks like they're going to set in
Middle East.
Correct. No, Germany would actually send troops to Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know Japan sent troops to Iraq.
Oh, did they now?
Yeah, and they all grew moustaches.
What?
Yep.
Why'd they grow moustaches?
So they, as a sign of respect for the locals.
Seriously?
And they were very well received.
Wow, I never knew that. You're full of lots of little bits of information, aren't you, Ian?
That photo looks like Tatooine.
Yeah, it does.
You know he's German when he's carrying a G36.
Yeah, true.
There we go. Bundeswehr soldiers are currently in active operation in Afghanistan and served with other coalition forces. So that'll be a great little addition for those of you who like to model.
The modern stuff too.
Yes. We have some Luftwaffe Bomben personnel, 1940 in 72nd, 48 and 32nd scales from...
Acerns Kroos.
Yes, I've never heard of these guys before. No doubt it'll be familiar to those of you who model figures. But you get 1, 2, 3, 4 different guys.
A bomb trolley.
A bomb trolley.
It looks like a 250 kilogram bomb.
Which would go well with a Stuka.
Yep, Stuka, JU88, Dornier 17.
Am I reading it correctly that it's in all scales, 48, 72nd, and 32? 32.
Yep. 3 different
That's
scales.
really useful. That really is useful.
And the same sort of poses for each of those scales. So quite a clever idea. But
and they're well posed.
Very well posed
figures. The trolley looks very nice.
It does. So it'll make a nice addition and diorama for those of you who enjoy building those sorts of things. Next up from Masterbox. This is very odd. In 1/24th scale, they have a Trucker Series kit number 9.
Special cargo, handle with care, Sandy and George.
Yes.
And George is Skip.
So it has a picture of George, whose nickname is Skip, sitting in his truck driving with a
Mr. Buff.
With a very curvaceous girl
scantily dressed
in the cabin with him.
With Daisy Dukes and a crop top.
Yes. They're also doing the Holy Roller Jordan or Jesus Jamison.
That is
Jesus.
I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be Jesus because he's got like the beard and the long hair kind of deal.
Yeah, but he's got tattoos and everything as well, and wearing cowboy boots. So.
All these figures look like they're straight off of Days of Our Lives or something.
And last but not least, we have Mindy. Her name is looking for a long haul partner. It says.
Oh, jeez.
A scantily clad in short cut off jeans, showing a midriff with a
little crop top.
Yep. Standing as if she's leaning up against a truck. So
these are very non-politically correct
figures to put with your truck models. For those that like building the long haulers.
Yeah.
Want to have a bit of candy?
Well, let's move on, shall we? Alpine have announced 2 US 101st Airborne troops set in World War II.
And being Alpine, they're absolutely incredible.
The detail of these kits, these figures is absolutely stunning, isn't it? You'd have a lot of fun painting them.
Oh, yeah.
I need to get into that sort of stuff at some point.
It's fun. Figure painting's fun.
Yeah, I just worry about my abilities with a brush, though.
Practice.
Yeah, practice.
That's what I did. Practice.
Yep, true.
Lots of practice.
Yeah, I mean, I every now and then I see something of this type that interests me, but none of the German stuff interests me. Because there's just so much of it. Like, Stalingrad comes out with a new German figure every week, right?
Oh, yeah, all their box sets that cost you well over $100.
But I mean, like the same as it's very saturated the German market for figures, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Hobby Boss have announced 2 new kits for late October, November. First one is a Soviet B2 fast tank early type in 1/35th scale.
Yes, it's got the classic photo of the flying BT.
Yes.
They love to do their stunts in those things.
Yes.
They haven't changed much. They still do those sort of stunts now. Yeah. There's something about the Russian army.
Still try and knock out the tank crew.
There's something about the Russian army. I like sort of seeing tanks launched off ramps. I don't know what it is.
Well, come screaming around corners doing like sliding.
Have a tank conversion, the Russians, that they actually put wings on one?
Wings.
Yes, they did. Yes.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
They also mounted rockets on them.
Yeah, that's the way.
Rocket boosters,
They've also announced, same company's also announced a FA-18C, and this one is in Australian Air Force colours in 1/48 scale. So I know quite a few people who that will appeal to.
Huge roundels.
You get a choice of doing it either in the, I'm having a close look now, which squadron? 30th. I'm going to bring that up any larger. No, I can't. Looks like the 30th anniversary of the squadron, or maybe the aircraft being used.
It's Hobby Boss Trumpeter. You're not going to find much information there. They usually don't give you much to go on.
Yeah. But gorgeous looking. I've never seen that scheme in the RWF.
No, me neither.
No.
So,
but there's a photo of it there, so it does exist.
Indeed, it does. So I'm quite sure that'll appeal to...
Bit Larry for me. The blue one.
It'll look hot, I reckon.
No. Needs shark's teeth.
If it wasn't in 148 scale, I might even think about getting that.
If you're the kind of person who builds, like, say, cars with lots of racing stripes and stuff, this is the plane for you.
It's the plane for you, yeah. Yeah, it's Larry. It's Larry.
Mantis Miniatures.
Oh, I like Mantis Miniatures.
This is their November products. They're doing bushes, fauna, stowage, and also 2 crew for your AFV armoured fighting vehicle. So, first of all, they're doing camouflage branches ready to use. I'm just wondering if we can get some pictures of that.
Yeah, it's basically just like little branches you can hang off your tank for camouflage.
Some of the fauna they're doing
Ducks
a range of
fish.
different ducks, a frog, a snail. It's
Big,
called
Big Snail.
Animal Set 33. So the scale is 75 to 90 millimeters, which is 1/24th to 1/18th scale for the animal set.
That's an odd size.
That's an odd size. They'll be too big for the 35th scale builders.
It would, but it might go well if you're doing like a bust or a diorama of a couple of figures.
Yeah, what are you going to use the fish for?
As if you caught, you could have been fishing and caught them.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, a couple of dead fish lying on the side.
Well, yeah, you could modify a figure and take, like, say, the sword or something out of his hand and replace it with the fish, right?
Nothing like a good fish slapping.
Also, as I mentioned, a couple of figures and accessories to add to your SD KFZ 222. So they've got a German SS AFV commander in 1/35th scale, posing so he can either sit on the side of a barrel or sit on the side of his...
I think it's meant to actually be in the vehicle, like sort of
Yep.
sitting on the rim of it. But
Yeah, but you
they've
can
placed
pose
a
it.
barrel there. Just it looks really weird the way he's like that. But I think that's just so they can.
Oh,
get
no,
him-
that looks all right like that.
it's a bit.
You can pose him either way. Another guy standing there holding a map, German SS officer, holding a map in 1/35th scale.
Yeah.
Priced at €14 each. So I'm sure some people will find that quite interesting as well. Next up, my favourite company, Revell. And
Bell's done some nice kits.
I've never had a decent Revell kit.
You just keep buying the wrong ones, though.
I do. So this one will appeal to the fast jet guys out there. It's a Dassault Mirage 3E in 1/32nd scale.
Well, it's either an E, an RD, or an O.
Correct. You can build either 3 of those.
32 scale.
Yes, it's reasonably priced at 50 or 60 euros flat. And it comes in either you can markings for French or for Royal Australian Air Force
It comes with
versions as well.
RAAF.
Yes, it does.
Ah.
And the interesting thing is also got the stand for the pilot to climb up into the cockpit, as well as the
A dolly.
dolly for the engine, so you can show it with the engine in its full glory as well.
Out of the aircraft, of course.
So I think that will appeal to quite a range of builders, actually.
Yeah.
So, some of our guys who build Royal Australian Air Force stuff will be very excited about that.
Exactly.
Also from Revell in 1/72nd scale, we have a BF 109 F2.
The Friedrich.
Comes in at €10.
Probably a reboxing, I think.
Yeah, could be.
Quite possibly. Also, they're doing a Yak 3 in 1/72nd scale.
One of the best Russian fighters from the Second World War.
Indeed.
I need to build one of those.
They're beautiful.
I built
the Edward one, and I reckon it was stunning in 48 scale.
See, which one? Which Yak is it? Yak 3. Yeah,
Yak 3.
I bought the Zvezda kit,
Yep.
which is newer, and it came with a warped canopy,
Ouch.
so that stalled.
Yeah, I'd say so. But it's such a small aircraft.
Yeah, I know.
It's tiny.
Yeah, I know. I love that thing.
Oh, it's
Love
beautiful.
the
That's one of
colours.
Yeah,
it's just
I love the
and
colours.
The shape of it. It's just that the Russians really got everything right, I reckon, with that
Yeah,
plane.
it's so sort of minimal. Like at that time period, like a lot of the various air forces in the world were just throwing as many guns onto their planes as possible, and this thing's only got 3.
Yeah.
So minimalist. It's fantastic.
Yep.
Next up from Revell, we have a way back. A Cannon Jug Panzer and observation version. This is for the modern German army in 1/35th scale.
Looks a bit like a modern version of a Hetzer.
1960s until the 1980s.
Yeah, and when you think about it, where
Or actually an SU, what is it, SU-122 or something? One of those Russian
Yeah.
destroyers. It looks nearly exactly like that.
Yeah.
It's when you think of it, NATO was purely going to be in the defensive that time. If the Soviets ever sort of came screaming through the Fulda Gap, so it makes sense to have one of these like that.
Low profile.
Yeah, very low profile. Comes with replica 90mm cannon, smoke grenade launcher, and additional parts for the observation version. Bowfighter in 1/48 scale by Revell.
I've heard some good things about the Revell Bowfighters.
Number of parts 188. It's going to have a 266mm wingspan.
So if you're in the market...
the length is going to be 266mm. The wingspan's 367mm. €40. This one comes with a whole heap of stuff, including torpedo, cockpit and consoles, instrument panels, gunner's cabin, detailed tail wheel, separate rudder, tailplane with separate elevators, fully detailed Hercules engines, separate ailerons and flaps, detailed undercarriage with retractable struts, as I said, the torpedoes, and the markings come in decal sets for 489 Squadron and for 254 Squadron RAF.
So if you're a bit of a cheapskate, you can expect a lot of people to sell their old Tamir kits at their local swap and sells.
Yes.
Or perhaps on eBay.
Mm-hmm.
Be able to pick one of those kits.
Yeah, the photos I've seen of the pre-production shots, and that, it's a stunning looking kit.
I've heard good things.
Yeah.
So, and if you want to spend a bit more, you can always get this one.
Yep.
Yep, very true. Didn't one of our Russ Green build one of these? He got his hands on...
Oh, I can't remember.
Brett Green?
Brett Green's, I beg your pardon. Brett Green.
He may have.
Yes, I believe he did.
And I think he was raving about it as well. He thought
not as much as he's raving about the new kit he's working on.
He's working on?
When he was on the podcast, he did mention that he's seen it and he was very impressed by it.
Well, he's currently working on the new Tamiya 1/48 scale Supermarine Spitfire.
Oh, is he?
He says that's got the best interior he's ever seen in any model kit.
Oh, wow.
So that should be out soon. More money to spend. I'll definitely get one of them.
Next up from Revell in 1/35th scale is the Russian main battle tank, the T-14 Armata. Very interesting tank if anybody's ever had a close look or has an interest in modern armour. For the Russians, it's a bit of a departure because a lot of, sort of full animation or automation in it, I should say, and a 3-man crew from memory.
Yep.
And I believe the...
automated turret, yeah.
Yeah, turret's fully automatic.
It's also very big compared to their for the tanks all they've been running since...
It's got a pretty tall profile too, doesn't it?
Surprisingly, yes. So it'll be interesting to see... we'll never ever sort of see if there's any sort of information on it, but... as we said, the crew all sit in the actual hull, and the turret is free of any crew. And
they sit in a reclined position.
So they're comfortable.
Get comfortable so that you don't have to go outside and breathe the toxic air that your enemies are trying to smoke you out with.
It's an interesting looking tank, and if you like your modern armour stuff, I'm sure this is a must-have as well. Last but not least from Revell, we have the German submarine in 1/144th scale, and we're talking about 1/144th scale later on. This is the German submarine type 2B, 1943. I think they only built about 6 of these. It's a tiny little sort of submarine, not small enough to be classified as like a midget submarine.
Or a coastal. I think it'd be more classed as a coastal type submarine.
Yeah, they were used, I think, there we go, in the Black Sea between 42 and 44. So, interesting little kit. Would have been nice to have this in 1/350 scale, actually.
Same, I'd love one of those in that scale. Add to my U-boat collection.
Yeah, you and me both. That's it from Tamiya.
You mean Revell?
I beg your pardon, Revell. Next, Hasegawa hobby kits. From November releases from Hasegawa, they're starting off with a Yanmar tractor.
That's a very modern-looking tractor.
It is, isn't it?
A YT5113A model.
It looks like a transformer.
I was thinking exactly the same thing. You look at the grill and it looks like it's going to talk to you.
In celebration of its 50-year history, Yanmar's iconic red tractor has its latest design immortalised in this newly tooled 1/35th scale kit, featuring rubber tyres that rotate thanks to polycaps and front wheels that can be steered left or right. This kit also includes a male operator modelled from a prototype by Santoshi Tashijima.
Sujimura, I think it is. Yeah.
Sujimura.
Oh, right, my pronunciation's not that good. All in the box, illustrated by the renowned Tenkro Kato.
Yes. It's a nice looking kit.
That is a nice, that's actually a well done model.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it looks like the suspension works too.
Yes, it does. Articulated suspension as well. So for those of you who like building
farm equipment,
you're going to get a real buzz out of this kit. And for those of you who don't, if you want to have a look at something different, by all means, have a crack.
There's been
it's one of those things that the weathering modelers would really go ape over.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely in the same vein like that sort of recent trend towards earth-moving equipment and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
But you could do it fresh out of the factory so it would be in immaculate condition as well. You don't have to go and dirty it up.
Boring.
All right, what else has Hasegawa got for us? They're doing 90s paddock girl figures. There's two girls in the pack in 1/24th scale.
Put with your Formula 1 cars.
Formula 1, yeah.
So two girls in swimsuits and an umbrella.
Interesting that Formula 1 have now dropped grid girls. So, and yet here we are. So the kit company coming out was Hasegawa. So.
Well, it's the 90s. They're still doing it.
It is a very 90s swimsuit, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
One piece.
Okay, let's move on to the next thing from Hasegawa. The Mecha Truck We Go robots, number 12, crystal and crystal mint. There's two kits in the box. One is sort of like a pale sort of mint colour, and the other one is got a see-through arms and body
with white and black elements,
which allows you to see the figure actually inside these particular robots.
But they're not robots.
Yeah, they're mechs.
They're mechs. They got people inside.
They're piloted.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll stand corrected. The piloted mechs. Then, interesting concept that you can sort of have it so you can see the operator inside, so you have it clear. I guess it allows you to option paint it as well. So as I said, the clear head, belly, and back cover. A big silver-plated frame and white and dark grey parts.
So basically, it's one of those kits you build without having to paint.
Yes, absolutely. Not that you'd ever enter that in the competition and win it, would you?
No.
Next up, we got the JK Mate Series cardigan, which is a resin kit. Funnily enough, from Hasegawa, a resin kit.
Wow, interesting.
Picture of a
Japanese schoolgirl
in a cardigan.
Yeah, that's it.
Moving on. More interesting to me is the F-35 Lightning II, the B version in 1/72nd.
It's got all its lift jet type stuff open.
Well, being the B model, yes. And I'm just wondering whether you can actually... We can't see the pictures only showing from a certain angle. It doesn't show from the rear to see whether the engine is facing down or not.
I think
this one's strictly Japanese self-defense force.
It is. And interestingly, Japan's actually building these
under license.
As
they do with all their aircraft that are under license.
Yep. Smart. Very smart the way to go. Mitsubishi Galant GTO 2000 GSR early version 1973 in 1/24th scale. You don't find it interesting at all, Ian?
Not one bit. I'm sorry, guys.
I don't mind it.
To me, it's just what's the point?
I quite like the 70s era Japanese cars.
Yeah, well, someone has to.
Well, my very first car was a Chrysler Galant, 1971.
It's not the same.
Yeah, they were totally different.
Oh, it's
Mitsubishi Galant and Chrysler Galant, isn't it? Oh, no, it's...
No, because Chrysler and Mitsubishi had a deal where
that's right, they did, didn't they?
Yeah, back in those days.
Yes. And then when Mitsubishi fully took over, they destroyed everything that was Chrysler related, and that's why you can't get anything on for Chryslers unless it's aftermarket now in Australia.
Well, there you go. You learn something every day. But I used to love my Galant, and in fact, a lot of people converted them to rally cars.
Yes.
They're a great little car. Very fuel efficient and surprisingly for the day. Next up from Hasegawa, we have a Kawasaki KH400A7.
79 model.
It is in 1/12 scale, which is a decent size for a bike.
Yeah, it's a good scale for motorcycles.
I'm pretty sure Kawasaki did a KH90 or 100 because I used to have that bike.
Oh, right, yep.
And it was terrible because you couldn't go more than about 90 kilometres an hour on it downhill. And going on a freeway, Helen's car's going past you. It's more dangerous going at lower speed than the bike is going fast, I reckon. Anywho, this is a big scale. I said 1/12, number of parts 140, and it will certainly appeal to the bike builders out there. It's got that lovely Kawasaki green that they produce their bikes in. And
lots of chrome.
Oh, yeah. And we'll talk about chrome later on, actually, in what's new. We'll save that for later.
But hang on. It does. So, chrome-plated parts.
Yep.
That's important.
It is important.
Because I know some kits, I think it's the Fujimi kits, don't actually have any metal plating on their bike kits at all.
Oh, really?
You have to go ahead and chrome them all yourself.
Expensive.
Next up from Hasegawa, they're doing the Egg Girls Collection number 5, Claire Frost. That's the name of the actual person, the girl.
Oh, it comes with a Hughes 500.
In 1/20th scale, it's just the actual Egg Girl.
No, it says it says with the few. See? With Hughes 500.
Oh, it does too. In 120, that's 1/20th scale, is it not?
That's the egg plane series.
Yeah. Okay.
So basically, you got a little Hughes.
Yes.
So you got a little egg plane Hughes 500 with a little Japanese anime nurse with purple hair.
Correct, and the Hughes is done up as like a medical aero helicopter. Okay.
Which it seems to have the above the side door seems to have the same marking on that there was on the tails on the Falklands War Harriers.
Oh,
the fist with wings.
Interesting. Next, the other X-Girl collection one is the number 6, which is the Sarah Mayuki.
It's a plane this time, so it's an anime girl with a plane.
Yep.
Egg plane with figure. So you get the girl.
It's a Mitsubishi was it a T4 or something?
I don't know. You guys are very different than I am. You obviously
how many of these egg planes type things are
There's
there?
a lot. There's a company I know that makes that. That's all they do is egg planes.
Well, I mean specifically to these announced because realistically, how interested is anyone going to be in these particular? Even the egg plane nutters out there are going to paint their stuff in relatively realistic looking schemes.
These are made specifically for the Japanese market.
Yeah, these are more fictional sort of dealios.
I've only got one egg plane in the collection.
You have an egg plane?
I've got a P40. Of course I've got a P40.
Did you buy it or did you get it for free with something else?
I think I got it for my birthday.
I wouldn't mind getting an egg.
That doesn't
I'd
count.
quite happily have an egg ship. I reckon they're pretty cool.
Would you buy it? Meng do a few egg ships.
Yeah. I haven't got it in my collection yet, but yeah, I'd be tempted.
Okay.
And an egg tank.
To each their own.
Moving along.
But at the same time, I'm not sure how much of our listeners would have an interest in these particular ones because
you'd be surprised.
Having an interest in egg planes is one thing. Having an interest in egg planes in fictional schemes with anime girls is
Japanese schoolgirls.
But sometimes it's just good to have a break from your military stuff and just break out and do something else.
Yeah, but then again, like the egg plane community has people who make resin detail up kits.
Yeah, you can buy full interior sets for aircraft and all sorts of goodies.
For egg planes?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, they go to town.
For even the rare ones like the Osprey.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, it must be obviously.
It's a strange. It's almost.
It's a community.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's not like I'm hanging shit on them at all, right? I mean, I think that people will sort of take these egg planes up and go, okay, I can build this thing without the pressures of having to make it really realistic. The pressure comes off, and they can just have fun.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a fun kit.
Yeah.
But then they can still always, if they want to, apply their hard-earned regular modelling skills to it without too much pressure.
Yep.
Right?
Or the other way around, you could use these to hone your modelling skills, couldn't you?
Yeah.
It can be a good way to get your kids into the hobby
Absolutely.
if you want to indoctrinate them like that. Although, whenever I see people
this
try
one
to do
here
that.
with the Japanese schoolgirl in a very tight sport shorts would.
Yes.
Well, that's not made for the adults.
Well, as we know, like boys are more interested in things like planes and tanks,
Yeah.
and girls are more interested in people.
Yeah, so that'd be more a kit for
you
a
could
young,
buy this.
trying to get a young girl into the hobby.
Well, you could buy this. You can give the plane to your son and the figure to your daughter.
Yeah.
Let's keep moving on. What else Hasegawa announced? And they've...
That's it.
That's it. Okay. Thank you, Hasegawa.
Well, fortunately, there was only 2 of them.
Italeri. Let's see what Italeri are doing for November. And first off, they've announced a Renault 5 Alpine 124
God, that's an
scale.
ugly car.
Yeah.
Oh, you spoke too soon. I was just about to say, Ian, please try to contain your disdain for this vehicle. But you just couldn't help yourself.
It's a shoebox.
However, the wording goes on to say the Renault 5 is a real icon of the French automotive world.
Well, so were the Citroens.
The small car developed by Renault was produced from the beginning of the 70s to the first half of the 80s and it rapidly achieved extraordinary commercial success in several countries. The most relevant success factor was a very good mix of functionality, appealing design, reliability, and smartness.
Smartness.
So there you
You're
go.
driving a shoebox.
Yeah, but the European market love this sort of stuff.
Look at it. It's ugly.
It might be ugly, but it was a commercial success
Oh, look,
for
they
Renault.
try and dolly it up by putting racing stripes on it.
I wouldn't call them racing stripes. They're more like
Pinstripes.
accents.
Accents, yeah.
The model actually comes in two-tone plastic. There's a blue, a black, and a white sprue. And also your obligatory clear sprue for
And
the windscreen.
Rubber tyres.
Yeah, rubber tyres. Next up from Italeri, they're doing a Top Gun double kit in 1/72nd scale. They're doing an F14A versus the AF4.
A4F, you mean?
What did I say?
AF4.
I beg your pardon, the A4F.
So a Skyhawk and a Tomcat.
Scooter.
Scooter.
The scooter.
Which I really like the Aggressor Squadrons.
Out of Miramar. Yeah, the
they look
camouflage is
fantastic.
absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? And of course, you get your F14 in 1/72nd scale.
I have to say, the box art is very...
Top Gun.
very Top Gun,
It's
isn't
even
it?
got Tom Cruise on the motorbike.
Conveniently looking at the plane and away from the camera so that it's
Yeah.
not copyright on his face or something.
Exactly.
It's a pity you don't get the his Kawasaki that he rides as well in to come with it as well. That'd make it a really great box. That was one of the most.
Well, at least it doesn't have the volleyball net.
That's true. That was a hot motorcycle back in the day. Oh, jeez, you guys. Oh, you guys.
We're on fire today, Dave.
Is this one of your dearly held sort of movies that you really love?
What, mine?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, I went and saw it I loved it when it came out. It was fast jets, and what else does a boy want growing up or a young man growing up? Fast jets. It was awesome.
I didn't see
Kelly
it. I
McGinnis.
didn't really see it as a kid. I was too busy watching things like Predator and James Bond.
Well, we grew up in different eras.
Yes, I know. Yeah, I know.
I wonder if this is just a rebox of some of the kits I've already got. And
It probably is.
Italeri, knowing them, it probably is. But you guys know what their F14's like?
No,
in,
not at
176
all.
scale?
No.
How accurate it is? Nothing? No ideas?
Unless it's from another manufacturer.
I don't think Italeri do that, do they?
Well, I know that some of their kits are available in Tamiya Boxing.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
In Tamiya Boxing?
Yep. Hurricane for one.
Oh, well, there you go.
Hurricane.
Learn something every day. So this will be a great little kit, priced €30. So it's quite reasonably priced
Which
for
considering you get two kits.
2 kits. Yeah, so that's terrific. Italy have also announced the Fiat 131 Arbeth Rally version in 1/24 scale.
A Bath. I love a Bath.
Never watched the Abarth Rally. Have you?
Oh, look at Ian. He's pulling the biggest face right now.
He's
Ian likes
biting down his hand.
Ian likes. Well, he relishes being able to fling his poo at anything European vehicle. He loves his muscle cars, and
I like man's cars. Thank you.
So you're telling me that my Renault that's parked in the driveway is not a man's car?
No.
Oh,
Sorry, I've got to be honest with you, Dave.
oh dear.
Like any racing car has my interest. Generally speaking, there are exceptions, but I mean, it's a racing car. Come on, as long as it's not like some
I'll be
modern
honest
racing
with you.
car.
I'm really not a fan of Italian cars.
Even their top end stuff.
No, especially those.
Especially those things.
Oh, okay.
If it's got that horse on it, I'm not interested.
So the Fiat 131 is available in 1/24 scale and is listed as skill level 3. Comes showing a decal kit for the Abarth Rally and should appeal to those of you who enjoy building rally cars. Everybody except Ian. Next up, still on Italy, they're doing a F5E Swiss Air Force in 1/72 scale. Lovely little aircraft.
Nice tail markings.
Beautiful tail markings for the Staffel 19, Switzerland 2009. And there's also the, excuse my German, Flüger Plus Commando 13, which is Squadron 8 in 2017 design. And last but not least, there's also another tail version celebrating the Sion Airbase closure in 2017. Chuck Yeager loved this aircraft. He reckons it's the best aircraft fighter.
Yeah, the F5s are a beautiful plane.
Built. Yeah.
And they're a nice looking aircraft too, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They look like a dart. Like the actual rear tail surfaces look like the kind of wings you have on darts.
Yes.
NASA still use them for trainers, for their astronauts. And
look at that. You look at the kit. It's basically one piece fuselage, half, and wings.
Oh, that'd go together so easy, wouldn't it? What's the parts count on that? Does it say?
No, it should.
No. 18 euros. Gee, I could be tempted for that. That looks like a great little build, actually.
Yeah.
Next up, we have our Iveco Turbostar 190-42 canvas with elevator for the truck builders amongst you. This comes in 1/24 scale, and the Iveco Turbostar is an important commercial success for the Italian manufacturer. Comes with lots of decals with the Italian colours, and that's all I've got to say for that.
Lots of sprues.
The tyres look like they're all rubber. So
most vehicle kits have got rubber tyres anyway.
This last thing from Italy, now this follows up to something we were talking about Italy doing, moving into the wargaming area. This is Operation Silver Bayonet, a Vietnam War set 1965. It's actually a battle set in 1/72 scale. Price is €70, and listen, guys, to what you get in this. You get a large village house and a small Vietnamese village house, MDF laser cut. You get a couple of battlefield buildings. Again, that'd be MDF possibly. You get 50 figures, Viet Cong figures, 50 US infantry figures. You get one M113 APC, and you get one M48 main battle tank and a UH-1C Huey. All in that for the grand sum price of 70 or 69 euros. That's not bad, is it?
And I think, because I know years ago Italy used to do the battle sets from World War II, and they came with a massive vac form base, so I'm presuming this probably does too.
It's not saying so, but definitely the pictures we're seeing are showing that there is a base there where that's been made to display how you can have it formed. Is there a lot of, I I'm not really too up on my wargaming stuff. But is there much in 1/72 scale?
I'm presuming there probably would be because, well, they must be because Italeri's flogging the stuff off.
It seems like the appropriate scale to me.
Yeah.
Mm. Well, 1/72 scale is quite large for tabletop wargaming, I think. It's normally they do the smaller stuff. So
yeah, interesting.
And the last thing from Italeri is a new tool T73/85 tank.
T34, mate.
What did I say?
73.
Oh, jeez. I'm blaming on the jet lag still.
Well, that's your excuse anyway.
Too many champagnes overseas.
Oh, I tell you what, the best champagne I've ever had is actually in Paris. The French champagne is divine. I got terribly drunk in Paris, and I won't talk about that story. T34/85 tank, 1/35 scale, injection molded, photo etches included. Track types are link and length. Why are we doing another 1/35 scale T34/85?
Well, the best, apart from maybe this one will be very, very good, but this one does have a full interior, and I think the only the sort of the good benchmark is probably the Dragon kit.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, there's an AFV Club kit as well, but it's got kooky suspension with real metal springs.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I bought it, and it was the earlier boxing of it that had the wrong springs that were too springy.
Oh, okay.
And it wanted to disassemble the suspension. Yeah.
Every time I try and put it together, bits go flying around.
So I'll welcome any new T34 kit. Not that I'll build one anytime soon.
Well, these are just CAD pictures, and it's showing the full turret interior, the full load of ammunition. Italeri has also promised us an innovative solution for the tracks. The photo etch fret for the engine grille will improve the look of that area. Some might want to show the engine, which is also provided in the kit, opened up or with an exposed transmission. We'll wait and see what the jury has to say on that as it comes out.
Yes.
Last but not least, we've mentioned from Mini Art in the past the new ball tanks, but they're doing ball tanks in US, German, and Australian markings.
This is bizarre.
Which I think is...
I look at the thing and I look at those little wheels on the side. And
the training wheels.
The training wheels. And the first thing I think is you clip a tree and your tank's just going to fall. That's going to snap off and your tank's just going to fall over.
I don't even think that would last in anything but a smooth road. Those little
but maybe the little training wheels are just...
Maybe they retract after it gets up to speed.
Yeah, once it gets going.
Oh, yeah, that could be it too.
It'd have to be.
But look, it's an enclosed ball. Engine and everything is enclosed in a ball. It'd be so hot and fumey inside one of those things.
Well, it's not as if it was real anyway.
No, well, that's right. I'm just nitpicking.
Well, look.
Here are the markings that it comes in. I reckon it's awesome. So you've got German markings.
Which look like marine-style markings.
American markings, which is a big star. And a great big white kangaroo representing the Australian markings. I reckon that's awesome. On the strength of that, I'd have to just buy one. Look at that.
Looks weird with a kangaroo on the side.
Would you buy one if it had shark's teeth on it? Like a shark mouth?
I'd paint the shark's teeth on it myself.
Just get an old decal out and do it yourself, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
It's a weird thing. Look, it's interesting.
It's different, isn't it?
Yeah. It's not practical at all, but it's different.
No.
See, like, what I'm wondering is the kind of person who buys it. So are they the kind of people who buy, like, paper panzers?
Yep.
Like your E100s and...
I should not talk too much because I've got a fair few paper panzers.
But this is actually the interior kit for that particular model. So is it?
No, it's a full kit.
Yeah, full kit shown with the interior kit as well. So I'm sure it's going to appeal to...
appeal to a lot of people. A lot of people like doing the what if or the especially the post-apocalyptic modelers.
Yeah,
they love something like that.
Yeah, if you're into something, if you want to do something very Mad Max inspired, or perhaps something a bit, maybe not steampunk, but maybe diesel punk.
Yeah, diesel punk. Yep,
kind of stuff. Yeah, yeah, you could easily modify this.
Yeah, definitely, most definitely,
absolutely. All right, that's it for from what's new that I've got. Ian, what have you got for what's new?
Well, I noticed this morning online that Telford's just opened up in England, the Telford Model Show.
Yes, one of the model shows that I'd love to get to.
Wingnut Wings has shown for I think 2020 release. They're showing as a separate kit they're making is the front portion of the 32 scale Avro Lancaster.
Now, isn't that interesting? 'Cause when we spoke about this, there were people actually asking if it was going to be just the front half released as a kit. And
I reckon there's a good chance that someone was listening and going, hang on, there's a lot of people asking.
Quite possibly.
And from what I've seen of the photos of it built up, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It'd be cheaper than buying the whole aircraft, though, wouldn't it?
For those who like the Wingnut Wings, apparently on Sunday, which is I think the 11th.
Yes.
Armistice Day, they will be releasing another new kit.
Announcing it at Telford.
Yep.
Wow. So
the rumours will be going crazy at the moment. What will it be? Will it be the one with the Australian connection?
Oh, I think it was the Lancaster, the Australian connection.
Maybe. Could be a DR1.
I take great pleasure in knowing that 98% of the people out there will be wrong in their guesses.
Oh, yeah. Personally, myself, I would love to see another SE5A with, what was his name? The Aussie Aces markings. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but it's got a really nice three-tone camouflage.
Yep.
Because I unfortunately missed out on getting the SE5A since it's out of production now. It's one of the want kits in my collection.
I'm sure you can find it on eBay somewhere.
Yeah.
At exorbitant cost.
Another kit release that a lot of people know about already, AFV Club, 148 scale U2. Which is a stunning looking kit. I've seen some sprue shots and just totally blew me away.
That's going to be a huge kit in
and
140.
It even comes with
the
the little canopy when it's parked on the tarmac, little tent canopy that you put over the top of the cockpit.
That's going to be huge with the wingspan.
Big
of
wingspan,
that thing.
yeah.
Wow.
What else? Airfix has apparently got a new release coming out over Telford. The big surprise release.
Oh, please tell me it's going to be the HMS Queen Elizabeth aircraft carrier in 1350 scale.
That'd be a big kit.
Please tell me.
A big carrier.
I just missed seeing it in New York by one day. She sailed out of New York as the day before I flew in.
Yep.
I was absolutely gutted.
Yes.
Never mind.
And this isn't actually new, but I did, and I even bought some presents for the boys here. Went to the local hobby shop because they've now been supplying the Molotow chrome pens. And I've had a bit of a play around with one last night, and I'll tell you what, these things are freaking phenomenal.
They are,
great.
aren't they?
And they're so chrome. And like I bought a 1mm and a 2mm pen.
Yep.
So basically, they're just chrome. It's not like the old chrome that used to be like a very shiny silver. No, these are chrome. And also bought the refill. And the good thing about the refill, even though it costs you an arm and a leg, it's airbrushable.
Wow. You don't have to add anything else to it at all?
No, straight out of the gun. It's wash your gun out with lacquer thinners when it's finished because they're an alcohol base.
Yep.
Make sure you put a nice, really shiny black base and make sure there's no scratches, pings, or anything. It's got to be glassy smooth before you put it on because this will show the slightest. Being chrome, it'll show the slightest imperfection. But for those especially the car modelers, you find a lot of the car models have the sprue gates like on the sides of bumpers. So when you knock it off the sprue gate, you've got a bit of bare plastic in the chrome. Well, you just use one of those chrome pens.
Wow.
Touch it up, a few little drops. Doop, doop.
And I actually saw it last night being used, and it's brilliant.
Are amazing, aren't they?
It's and you mentioned we can use it on searchlights.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, I got the small one for the small 1 to 350 scale searchlights, which I bought.
Headlight for car models.
Yes, landing lights for aircraft.
Yeah.
Piston struts on your undercarriage.
And it flows out of that pen quite nicely too.
Yeah.
So it's don't have to worry about getting my airbrush out and just use that instead.
Too true.
Absolutely. Julian, you got anything new?
Me, no.
Of course not. You never read, do you, or look at any new models?
Not really. Yeah, I mean, I either spend. I've got my video games and my model building, and I'm always darting back and forth between the two, and I don't really keep my ear to the ground for that sort of thing. I'll let people like you guys tell me.
And then, as I touched on earlier, in the podcast that Tamiya releasing, I think, be a matter of days, maybe a week, or might even be out now, is the new 148 scale Supermarine Spitfire Mark 1.
Yeah.
From everything I've seen and what I've heard, it's like, especially I saw a bit of a talk from Brett Green on Hyperscale, and this is the kit of 148 scale Spitfires.
Wow.
It's got probably the best interior. They've fixed up a few of the profiles that were incorrect on the old, which is, geez, got to be well over 20 years old, maybe close to 30 now, the old Supermarine Spitfire kit.
And it's still a great kit, that one.
It still builds. It's one of the easiest model kits to build.
Yep.
But this one's just, it comes with photo etch and...
Yeah, it comes with photo etch seat belts. Yeah, and the seat belts come in from behind
the seat.
You know how after, you know, if when they sort of attach and secure down the bottom in front of you, and they go up and over your shoulders, they then go like horizontal into like where it's secured up the back
at the frame.
So yeah, it's all properly replicated for that.
And with the other thing too is it's got fuselage plugs for the in behind the main cockpit, so you can actually build it with the cockpit open or closed.
Oh wow!
So basically, if you have the cockpit open, with the old kits, if you have the cockpit open, your canopy would flare out and sit proud high.
Yep.
Whereas this one, it's actually slightly compressed, so when the canopy's open, it sits flush as it should do.
Wow!
So it's that's a must.
Makes you wonder if. Oh, well, they just released a 109. I would have thought, would it be cool if they released a 109E to pair with it? Since it's an early Spitfire, an early 109 would be nice.
Well, there's a good chance they've just done the G.
Yeah.
And I don't have the G, but apparently that's a beautiful kit too. The G6.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
And as you mentioned, Ian, it's Telford this weekend. Yep. So hello to all those guys hanging out to Telford.
Yeah. And take plenty of photos for us and put it on our Facebook page.
And as I said, there are going to be a couple of big announcements out there, so it'll be interesting to see what those are.
Yep.
Unfortunately, we won't be able to talk to them for another fortnight or so we're just going to miss that.
Yeah, but guaranteed those good listeners will send the odd Facebook post to what's new and,
hopefully
keep us in the loop, guys.
Absolutely. Well, guys, we're up to an hour and a half, so I don't think we're going to have time to talk about 144th scale aircraft, which I wanted to do. No, I think we'll leave it for next episode.
All right.
And I might even get Chris in as well, seeing he's been building so many.
Chris Howes.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's got the time to pop in.
Oh, he'll have the time to pop in.
Oh, you're going to go around his house and grab him by the scruff of his neck?
No, Michelle will offer to cook his meal, so he'll come around for a schnitzel.
Yeah, that's right.
A bribe.
Yes. Yeah, works every time.
Yeah.
Works on us.
Well, it does, yeah. You're very cheap, the pair of you. All right, well, that's it from Ian. You got any sort of final words?
Not really, not tonight. No, just going to knock off and head back home and do a bit of cleaning and then hook back into the Shikaku.
Excellent. And Julian?
Yeah, stop procrastinating.
You're looking at me when you say that.
I'm speaking for myself because I procrastinate quite a bit. And I know how I am with it. Like, it's sort of a case of once I actually start building something, then I just run with it, and it's very easy to keep the momentum going. But it's pulling myself away from other various things and idling and just generally wasting time thinking about things. And it's easy if you just stop thinking about it. Just do it.
Yep.
Very good.
Just get in it.
All right, guys. Thanks very much for listening. We'll be back in a fortnight. See you later.